Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Millennial Man Cave. Your boys are back in the house right now. It is going to be a little bit of a different one today. If you haven't noticed right here, look. Toronto Blue Jays. We're back into MLB action, but this time we're trying something new. It's going to be a little rebuild. I'm loving every second of it. You know, we got new roster updates from OFSM. We got the version 1.5, and your boy's going to try something that we haven't done before. Now, you've seen Chef Tom and I basically do this through a full franchise mode, but I'm going solo again, and what I'm trying to do here is take the Toronto Blue Jays to the promised land because we're using the Pirates in our franchise mode. So if you guys haven't checked out that series, go check it out. Go do it now. If not, this is going to be a pure sim season. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create the Blue Jays, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to see how long it takes me to win my first championship with the Jays. Now, of course, this is also adding in the fact that with the new updated rosters, we got guys like Bo Bichette, we got guys like Vlad Jr., we got guys like Gurriel Jr., so I'm really excited to see what I can do with this team and see how far we can take them. Now, what happens after we win our first championship, I'm going to leave up to you guys. Do you guys want me to play out an entire franchise, sim of course, and then see how many championships we can win and see how well we can do with this Blue Jays team? Or do we just quit after the championship and then maybe potentially try a new one? So I'll leave that up to you guys when we get to that point, but it's the first episode. We're just getting things rolling. Toronto Blue Jays, let's get it started. So here's what we're going to do. GM contracts, 3 years long. Okay, that's fine. If we get fired, that's like a loss on the rebuilds. I'll take that. There's going to be no fantasy drafts. Allow legend free agents. No thank you. Computer roster control. Manage rosters of all computer control teams. Nope, definitely not. Computer trading, we will definitely leave that on, keeping it realistic. Ignore budgets will be off. We definitely have to work against each salary cap that each team has. Or, sorry, how much money they have. Forced trades, we're going to stay off. Designated hitter will stick auto as per the usual. Now, where do we go for this piece here? Coaching tasks, responsibility, set lineups, rotations, and injury management. I'm going to leave that to auto. I'm okay with that. Player development tasks, we can leave that auto as well for the scouting, and then we will draft. General manager tasks, we will take that piece over. That's going to be part of our rebuilding. We're going to go advanced now. We will start off in spring training to catch things early. Now, I don't know if you guys know officially what the Blue Jays roster looks like, but I'm going to show you that right now just so you guys can see what exactly I will be working with into this road to the championship and this rebuild. So our starting pitchers, Marcus Stroman, Aaron Sanchez, Marco Estrada, Jay Happ, Jaime Garcia, Nick Tepesh, Sean Reed-Foley, Ryan Barucki, Taylor Guerreri, Luis Santos, TJ Zook, Thomas Pannone, Nate Pearson. So as you can see already, I'm not going to go any lower here. We're just going to get into our worst prospects. But from a prospect perspective, this is where we have to look for the Blue Jays and what we're going to see of what we can do with these guys. How much time can we wait for them to come up? What are their potentials looking like? So first one's first, Sean Reed-Foley, arguably probably the best prospect in the Jays for pitching besides TJ Zook. Now, he is a 69 overall, B potential, he's 22. Ryan Barucki as well, a guy who's been kind of on that lower to mid-end prospect. Lots of potential, and they're showing it here in the OFSM roster. B potential. Taylor Guerreri's already 25. Luis Santos, he's already 26. They're C's, but they're pushing 70s. Potentially guys maybe we'll use in the bullpen. There you go, the big boy TJ Zook, 66, 22, B potential. Thomas Pannone, I'm actually very surprised he did not receive more potential. He is a half-decent pitcher who has shown well for the Jays, especially this past spring training. He is starting off in AAA, so obviously they don't see him as that great of a prospect. Nate Pearson, another big name for the Jays, 21, 64, B. So someone we're definitely going to be looking out for. Moving into our relievers, we have the ultimate final boss, Seung-Hwan Oh. He's 35, 83. So we're obviously going to see already with our pitching, as we know with the Blue Jays, there's some age. There might be some guys we may potentially look to move around, maybe get a little bit younger. I'm going to kind of get a feel for what our season looks like and then when we're going to potentially make changes as we go along from there. So Seung-Hwan Oh, Ryan Tepera had a great season for the Leafs, still thinking hockey from the loss to Boston yesterday. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm still hurting. For the Blue Jays, so Ryan Tepera, 79, 30 overall, C potential. So his growth is really going to be stagnant. It's not going to move that much, but he's 30. He's not that old for a reliever. Danny Barnes, who's shown great for the Jays, 76, B, 28. Tyler Clappard, 33, a little bit on the older side. Aaron Loop, Pretty much one of the only lefties the Jays have really working out of the pen. Joe Biagini, 27-73 B potential. Not entirely sure how I'm going to work in Joe. I don't know if I'm going to put the time in to see if I can get him in the lineup or if I'm just going to let him sizzle it out in the minors, pretty much like the Jays have actually been doing. Carlos Ramirez, Al Albuquerque, as you can see, not really any major prospects here. Obviously, there is some names. Andrew Case, a guy the Jays have been looking into for a while. And then you got some of the older guys here, Axford, Albuquerque, like I mentioned above. And let me just take a quick peek down here. Yeah, so Tim Meza, a guy the Jays have been using as a lefty. He's come up and down, but 49 is not a lot of respect for him, considering how well he actually has shown since he's get called up. Moving on to our closers, you got the one and only Roberto Osuna. This guy's going to be locked in with us for a very long time. No plans on moving him. In our catcher perspective here, not looking great. I mean, Russell Martin, sure, he's 35. I don't know how long I'll look to potentially keep Russ around. You know, in real life, he's not showing to be an everyday catcher anymore. The age is starting to show. The injuries are a bit of an issue. And as you look at the game here, hitting is not something we're going to get out of him. However, the fielding and defense is very good, and that's important to me in building our franchise. Now, Reese McGuire is a prospect for the Jays, but looking at the potentials, nobody here has been giving any, from Riley Adams, Danny Jansen being the only one. He actually is a really massive prospect for the Jays. So I'm kind of glad to see that he got at least a B. Luke Mayale, he's been playing really well this year, but obviously these rosters are before the season started. 61 overall. And Max Pentecost, the ever prospect at catcher for the Jays. Injuries have plagued him. They already have him down in A-ball apparently right now in the game. Not sure in real life. I'm pretty sure he's AA or AAA in real life with the Bisons. But 61 C, but he's 25. So we'll see how that one goes. First base, quick look here. Rowdy Tellez is the big one we're going to be looking at. He hits bombs. That's pretty much what he does. Not a great fielder, not much to him, but again, in the game, he will grow. He's a B, 68-23. He could be in the show by Season 2 or Season 3. Kendrys Morales, a little bit on the older side. He obviously lost some of the overall with the new updates that MLB did. Someone we may look to potentially move, especially considering he's likely not going to be starting anywhere besides DH. Justin Smoke, coming off a big year. He's only 31, and he does have half-decent fielding for a first baseman. I definitely think I might consider keeping him around for a little while, depending on how his performance goes. Looking at quickly second base here, Devin Travis. Obviously, he's the big boy. Devin, though, obviously has issues with injuries. How that relates to the game, we'll find out as we go along. Danny Espinoza, obviously just some depth that the Jays signed in the offseason. Lourdes Gurriel, he's our big boy. He could potentially be coming up. He is up right now with the Jays. Who knows how soon we see him up in the majors. John Beardy, obviously no respect. Gift Nagope, never know how to pronounce it. But anyways, no potential for him apparently. He is a total defensive guy, as you can see even in the game. Nothing there for him with regards to getting on base and running and having good defense. The rest, not much here at second base. Looking at third base, you have the one of the, I would say, like, bosses of the Blue Jays team. He basically was, he's MVP. He was MVP. This season, obviously, he's injured again. He's had some shoulder tiredness and arm tiredness. Not a great situation for us, but he is on a contract year. He's 32, 94 though, so we're talking about an actual stud here. But let me take a step down. The Jays got some depth in Yangervis Solarte. The guy's been playing fantastic in real life. He's only 30, so he's actually a couple years younger than Josh, and he's a switch hitter, 77. We'll see how he pans out. The big one, Vladdy Jr., 19, 69 already, and an A potential. This guy's going to be an absolute stud. I cannot wait to see how fast we can get him up into the show, and if he's going to be a part of our first championship team. Looking the rest of the way down, Jason, I've practiced his name before, but I can't remember what it is now. I believe it's Leblegian? Something along those lines. He's actually a half-decent player in real life. He is one of the guys to watch who could get a fast call-up for the Jays. Probably out of the next guys not named Gurriel, Bichette, or Vladdy, which leads me to the next one. Heading over to shortstop, you guys know Troy Tulowitzki. He's a contract I probably will look to move sooner than later. The drop in his production all around will not do us well. His arm's great, but his fielding has even gone down in a real-life perspective, of course. In the game, they still have a little bit of respect for him, but the fact that he's dropped to a 76, I mean, you are talking about a guy here who was a former All-Star, and, I mean, literally was an MVP for Colorado on their roster. So, Aledmys Diaz is here now. He's a guy who's obviously right now in MLB, in real life, and in the game. They dropped Tulowitzki to an A-ball because he's injured. Bo Bichette, the other big boy that the Jays have, 20 years old, 69 overall, A potential, absolutely phenomenal. And then actually two half-decent prospects underneath him, Logan Warmoth, who's in AA ball, 22, 64 B potential, and Richard Urena, who's also felt like he's been a prospect forever, but only 22 and a 60 and a B. And I'm pretty sure both these guys, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they do play anywhere in the upper infield. So, great stuff there. Looking into our outfielders, gotta respect Curtis Granderson for what he's doing on the Jays right now. He actually is holding his own. Obviously, a little bit on the older side. He's signed to a 1-year deal. Maybe a guy we keep around the franchise to see what he can provide us, even as a depth perspective. He's still 78. He is 37, yes. But he's got B potential, which means he still has potential to grow during the season. Steve Pearce, depth guy. He does have some half-decent hitting. We obviously don't have him for the defense. We'll see how far he comes along with us on this journey. Dwight Smith Jr., probably one of the bigger prospects of the Jays in the outfield. 66 beat potential, and he's 25, so he's a little bit on the older side. We'll see what kind of growth he gets out of the Bisons in AAA. Who knows if he gets a call-up. DJ Davis, a little disappointed not to see he didn't have at least a beat potential, but who knows? We'll see what kind of growth we got out of him. Center field, you know who the big boy is, Kevin Pillar, Mr. Gold Glove. He is 29 already, 80, no potential, unfortunately still holding down at C. Teoscar Hernandez, who's been an absolute stud for the Jays ever since they were able to acquire him from the Astros in the trade for Liriano. So 25, 68, A potential. I know we will see him up. He actually has been showing a much better bat than he is actually getting in this game, but I know he's still only 68, so we'll see what his growth looks like. Fielding's really good. He's got some speed. I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. Dalton Pompey, another forever prospect for the Jays, unfortunately. But 66 P potential. He usually is good for a trade when you have to acquire something. So perhaps with the depth we have with a guy like Anthony Alford, we'll see who sticks around between these guys and how it goes for the rest of the season. Moving on over to right field, newly acquired Randall Grichuk, 78, 26 B potential. He's got good potential for us even in this franchise to stick around due to his age and the upside that he has. He's a decent fielder. He's got decent power. We may see he sticks around depending on what he does, of course. Rounding out the rest of it, C's, doesn't really matter. So that's going to be our roster, guys. That's how we're going to start this one off. Spring training, obviously, is going to be the first piece that we are going to look into. I don't want to make any legit deals right now. I kind of want to go through about a week or so of spring training, and let's see what the team can provide for us up until, let's say, about here. Now, I know spring training games do not matter, but like I mentioned to you guys before, I have a couple ideas about what kind of deals I potentially want to look at. Now, we're about a 500 team. I potentially want to make a couple deals, so when you guys come back, I'll have a deal for you. Catch you soon. Alright guys, we finally have our first deal. So, as I mentioned, I'm looking to move out Troy Tulowitzki. He doesn't have a lot of trade potential, but he does eat up some cap at $4.2 million. And Russ Martin as well. Want to get a little bit younger, so you can see the deal on the screen here. JT Realmuto coming over from the Marlins, sending over 2 contracts back the other way. I don't mind getting a little bit younger at catcher. And, you know, this is something that I feel is going to help us in the long run versus any short-term gain. Realmuto, obviously, only 27. Martin, 35, moving over. I think Realmuto will be a perfect stopover gap for us to see what kind of guys we get in growth from Denny Jensen, from Reese McGuire, and some of our bigger prospects. So, here's our first deal. Let it go through. Boom, and done. Opening it up a little bit there. There you go. Realmuto finally coming over, 78. Russ Martin and Tulowitzki headed over to the Miami Marlins. And let's continue to dig. Hey, welcome back, guys. We weren't able to make any more trades. I didn't see anything that I thought was going to really change anything for us. It kind of felt like I'd be giving away too much, or we'd be kind of overdoing our situation currently. So we made that first minor deal just to fix our catcher situation and get Tulowitzki off the books. And then I also went out and I thought what would be a big help for us in the bullpen is to go sign the available Trevor Rosenthal. He's only 27. He's an 80 overall. He really does help out the pen. So I thought that was a good option for us. I gave him a 2-year deal, I think at about $3.1 million per. Obviously, relievers are pretty hard to come by with that kind of quality. So I'm hoping that kind of helps shore us up a little bit. I'm going to leave our starters the way they are. So pretty much like the Jays in real life right now. We're starting off the season with Stroman, Estrada, Happ, Sanchez, Garcia as our 5. In the pen, we're going to have O, Rosenthal, Tepera, Loop, Barnes, Clapard. And I'm going to give Axford a chance. I'll see what he can do at his age. Osuna obviously closing. Our catchers, we're going to run Realmuto and Luke Mayale. Smokin Morales, Travis Nagope. I'm going to see how he does. I'm going to give him a little while. I might call up Danny Espinoza instead. Obviously a little bit more polished, a little bit on the older side. And then we're going to go Donaldson, Solarte, Diaz, Granderson, Pierce, Pilar, and Grichuk. So that's what our lineup looks like right now, guys. Now we're going to finish off spring training. So let's go to the calendar here. Give this a nice little finish. Let's see how we do. So we took a couple big losses there. Not liking that at all. But we finished at 12 and 16. Not great. So we'll like sim the rest of spring training. Let's start getting into some actual meaningful baseball. Advance to the regular season. Yes, that is exactly what I would like to do. So like in real life, the Jays will start off with the Yankees on March 29th. I'd like to go, let's say, maybe about a month at a time, and then we'll see where we're at, where our players are, and then potentially make decisions on whether or not we need to actually pull some deals. Now, so I'd say maybe a good spot would be, let's go to May. Let's go to May to the Minnesota series, and see whereabouts we're at. So we're a 2-5 team, 5-5. Okay, we took Boston, really happy about that one. Won the Cleveland series, lost the Kansas City, took the New York series, that's massive. Boston, we did half decent here, so okay, that goes pretty fast. Let's quickly look through. So the Yankees series, we lost. We lost a 4-game series there. We lost to the White Sox, which is shocking. We swept Texas. We went 2 of 3 against Baltimore, 2 of 3 against Cleveland, only won 1 on Kansas City, lost our series. We took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees, which is fantastic to get back up on them for that first series to start the season. The Red Sox we took. Texas we took. And then Minnesota right now, we are in our first victory. So we are 18-12 right now. Let's go take a quick peek at what our guys are doing with regards to their numbers. Now, are they in a good place right now? Does it make sense for us to keep some of the guys that we have? So, Happ right now is 3-3, 3.63 ERA, not bad. Stroman, who's supposed to be our ace, 1-2, 3.86. Sanchez, 2-1, 3.03. Estrada, 2-0, 3.79. And Jaime Garcia having a little bit of an issue, but he's still 3-2 at 4.33 for his ERA. So, the overalls, Happ has gone up a bit, Stroman went up a bit, Sanchez went up a bit. Estrada, I believe, is holding about the same, maybe dropped a point. Looking at the relievers, is looking pretty, he's looking fantastic. 0.9 ERA has gone up to 85. Trevor Rosenthal's been lights out in the 4 innings he's come in for us. Tepera, 109. Barnes, 1.5. Loop has been having a little bit of an issue. He was someone I was going to look out for. With that ERA where it is, obviously over 13-2, we might have to potentially look for a new lefty out of the pen. Wow. Clapard is struggling mightily right now with an 8.56 ERA. We definitely may need to look to move on from him. And then Axford apparently got sent down. So where does that leave us now? Osuna, look at that. Beautiful. 1.8 ERA in his 10 innings. Up to 92. JT Realmuto, 247's got 3 home runs. That's not bad from a catcher. I can definitely accept that. Luke Mayale has come up a bit at 63 overall, batting terribly. Terribly. We may look to get a better backup catcher to help out with that. But Realmuto up to 81, which is perfect. Pretty much pushing close to where Russell Martin was getting to. Kendrys Morales has ended up on the DL. He's 73, was batting 286 and 28 at-bats. Justin Smoke having a great season for us right now. 317 average, 7 home runs. Attaboy Smokey. Debo Travis, 290 average. I'm okay with that. I'm not expecting this guy to hit mass amounts of home runs. Gift, 224. Danny Espinosa has been looking like he's getting pretty hot. I'm okay to make the move. Take Nagope. Send him down to... Where's Espinosa? So I'm going to send him to AAA. And then we're going to call Danny up. Add him to the 40-man roster. And then he now is going to move up and play for us in the show. Obviously, you know, Gift was playing decent, but Espinosa's up to a 72 now, a little bit more well-rounded for us. Donaldson's being a star like he should be, 316, 10 home runs. Yanharva Solarte, what a beauty, 288 in the time he's been playing, 2 home runs. Aledmez Diaz, 255, not bad from the shortstop position. I'm okay with that. I'll take it for now. Grandy's batting 322. Attaboy Grandy, killing it. 270 from Steve Pearce. I'd say that's very okay. Kevin Pillar batting 260. I'm also okay with that. Teoscar Hernandez finally passed the 70 point. He looks like he could be in the show very soon. And Randall Grichuk, 255. Not great, but I mean, he's not an average hitter, so we're okay with that. Don't need to go to the AAA roster. So there's a couple little moves I think I potentially want to look into getting done here. I'm not happy to see what Loop and Clapard have done for us in the pen. Let me go see if I can find some trades. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we are back. We officially have our deal in the books here. We are going to be moving on from Tyler Clapard, Aaron Loop, and Richard Urena. We obviously are going to be getting a great quality left-hander out of the pen now in Kevin Segrist. If you guys don't follow Chef Tom and I, you would know that in our franchise modes, we love Kevin Segrist. He's a great left-hander. I feel like this deal will really help us out from the pen. It gets us a solid upgrade on Loop. and it also moves out Clapard and some salary. So this is a great one for us. I'm going to accept this deal. Urania, the forever prospect, is gone due to, of course, Warmouth and Bo Bichette, who are both younger and better prospects. Looking on from there, I've been trying to take a peek at what else we may potentially want to look out to. I'm just going to shop for a deal to see if I can get a quick upgrade on my LA, and we'll be right back. There you have it, guys. So I didn't actually have to make a trade. I didn't want to, again, move out any pieces that might hurt us for the future. So what I did was I went out to free agency and I found a 70 overall catcher in Cameron Rupp, who was obviously 7 points better than Mayale. He can come into the lineup pretty much around the same age, 29, and he can help be a part of that stopgap team with Real Muto as we wait for our beauty and Danny Jansen to hopefully make it up, and hopefully one of his other prospects who could potentially back him up. Now, just to round out the rest of the roster here, we did make a couple moves with Espinoza coming up, and then I need to check our relief pitchers real quick to make sure. Oh, there's Segrist. Why are you in AA? So you are going to get added to the 40-man roster, and you are going to be moved to the MLB. We are 2 positions short right now, so I am going to call up Joe Biagini. Oh, he's not on the 40-man. Let me get him added now. A guy who I think can definitely help us out of the pen. So we're going to move you to the MLB, and we got one more spot open, and I believe that's due to our first base issue with Morales. You know what? Let's leave it open for now. It'll be fine, and let's get back to some simming action. We're going to head back over to the calendar and potentially see what's ahead for us. Yeah, I'd say maybe about early June. Let's see where this brings us. So we'll auto-fix the Fisher Cats. We pick up... Oh, the Astros are coming to calling. We've picked up the rest of the sweep on Minnesota, so that's great news. We're at 20-12 right now. Our offer is Danny Jansen, so our top catching prospect, who is right here, a B potential, 61, for relief pitcher Colin McHugh. Now, I do enjoy my relief pitchers. He is 30 overall, and he probably would help us and step in, but I'm not willing to accept with our top catching prospect for him right now. We're not built to win right this second. We could potentially compete, but we're not going to actually, I don't think, win, in my opinion. So let's keep pushing forward here. The Bisons have too many. Fix the roster then. Nice 10-3 shellacking there on Tampa, but we did lose the series. We lost to Seattle. We got swept by Boston. We split 1-1 with the Mets. We beat Oakland. That's good stuff there. We swept the Angels. We had a little bit of an issue with the Phillies towards the end of the year. We lost the series to them, lost the series to Boston, and followed by a lost series to Detroit. So we are early June now. I believe the draft, yeah, is in 1 day. So why don't we just go to the draft? Let's get the draft out of the way. Yep, auto-fix the Blue Jay roster. Skim through the Yankees. There we go. First player draft. This is always important. Let's see who we can pick out of this, because it'll be incredibly important. So we have the 12th overall pick. That'll help us out a lot. So we are thin at left field. So Paul Kirby, who should be ready by 2022 with an 80 potential, someone we can definitely look into. Starting pitching, we are pretty balanced, so I think we can pass on James Hillman for now. Just want to take a look at based on what we need for potential. So relief, it says we're okay. First base, we're a little thin as well. I actually really like left field. I think maybe Paul Kirby with his age, 2022, he'll be ready. He looks like he's going to be a half-decent hitter. Pretty well an average guy. And I think maybe that's what we need right now for that spot. He looks to be the best all around, at least potential-wise. Let's take a quick peek at Hillman here. Great stamina, great hits per 9, good Ks per 9, and break and control from Germany. That might be tough, and he's a lefty too. Ready by 2019, so that's by next year. You know what? I'm going to go a little off the board here, and I'm going to take James Hillman. He looked like a potential polished piece that could help us out. Plus, he's a lefty, which, you know, that'll really be good for us as well, with Jaime Garcia going to be leaving us. Looking on now, what do we got left over here? So Paul Kirby is still sticking around. That's good that we passed on him then. Third base, there's Ken Early. Maybe not so much a necessity for us considering he doesn't play another position. I don't see much upside to him besides fielding. Looking at second base, we got George Siebel, who'll be ready by 2022. He also plays pretty much all around the infield. He'll be a half-decent contact hitter guy with a 55 to 65 rating. Good arm strength. Looks like he's going to be better on the defending side. Daryl Dickens at first base. This might be able to help us out a little bit here. Fielding is good. Contact and power is going to be about 60s, which is about above average. He might be half-decent. He also plays the outfield. So let's go a little off the board here. I'm going to take Daryl Dickens. He looks like he might actually be able to give us something, especially playing that outfield position that we were looking at Kirby for. Let's see who's still kicking around right now. So there's Alden Guacho. Looking for accuracy. So Paul Kirby is still sitting around right now. There's Enrique Arnez, Manny Garlobo in right field. But he's going to be looking at a 75. So you know what? Let's just get Kirby off the board while he's still kicking around. He's only 19. If he's a bit of a project, that's okay. You know, worst come to the very worst, he becomes just a good depth guy for us. Looking on now to see what our next pick is going to be for accuracy. So there is Oliver Castro and Eric Perkins. Both only potentials to be in the 70s. So why don't we take the guys who still have potential looking in the 80s? Who has the closest based on what we need? Okay, so Alan Easel should be ready by 2021. And he looks like he's got some good power for a catcher, good reaction, arm strength is good, fielding's good. I'm going to take my chances here. Just in case none of our prospects pan out there for catcher, why not throw an extra piece there? And then if we have to move on from the guys that we have, that's what we'll do. Moving on to round 5, there's still 80s kicking around here, which is solid if you ask me. So I'll take my chances. We are going to be looking at another starting pitcher, a right fielder, which is obviously a spot that we do need. This kid's looking to be ready by 2021. It looks like he's going to be a good contact hitter, good plate discipline, good plate vision, half-decent arm strength, and speed. So not a ton of power, but great contact. Mariano Trejo. I'm going to take my chances on Mariano. Right field is a spot that we needed some help in, so we'll definitely take that. Moving on next, we do have round 6. What do you have for us now? So 75 potentials now we've worked our way to. Relief pitching and starting pitching, we are both apparently balanced. Do we want to potentially look to see what any of these guys might have for us? So Jeff Deal, a 5-pitch pitcher from Mississippi. Good Ks per 9, good walks per 9, good velocity, good break, good hits per 9, and good arm strength. And he's due to be ready by 2020. You know what? I'll take my chances. I'll see if we can get Jeff, drafting a Jeff. Who would have thought? And that's the end of our first player draft. So let's go take a look now to see what we were able to acquire out of the draft. So I don't like that we got swept by the Yankees. I don't like that we're losing right now to Baltimore. Let's go check out our draft picks. Give us some good news. Okay, guys, we got some pretty fantastic news, actually. So pitcher James Hillman, who is a 64 out of the draft, has B potential, that 4 pitcher. He's got potential to be an 86. So, yeah, you're going to get a deal. Daryl Dickens, the first baseman, looks like he's going to be about a 77 potential. I'm okay with that. That's not bad. He's a C, but he's going to be some depth, and he's young, so we'll take it. 89, Paul Kirby. 47 right now, but a B potential, so he could be a bit more of a project. That's fine. You always want to stock up the cupboards. Here you go, Alan Easel, guys. This guy looks like a monster. 22, 93 potential. He's a 58 overall, and he's an A. This is going to be massive for us in case those guys don't pan out. Mariano Trejo, 88 overall in right field. Oh, he's going to be phenomenal. Excited to see his development. He's a B potential, plays the whole outfield. And last but not least, our last prospect here, Jeff Deal, who's a 59 right now. You know what? He could end up being half decent for us for depth as well. We'll sign all of our guys. And, you know, let's move on here. Let's see what's going to come of the rest of our month now. You know what? Let's go to about here, the end of June. And we'll see where we sit. So we're 35, 36, and 32. We picked up a couple wins there to help us out. And LA series. Okay, so let's digest what we got going on here. So we lost the series, as we said, to the Yankees. We lost the series to tied the series to Baltimore in a 4-gamer. We took 2 out of 3 from Tampa, won the series. 2 out of 3 from Washington, won the series. We swept the 2-gamer against Atlanta. 3 out of 4 against the Angels. That's pretty good. And we beat the former champions in Houston. So we're now actually 10 games over 500. And let's go take a quick peek to see what our numbers are looking like. Yes, this is where I look at it from to see what my numbers are. So Sanchez up to 86 now. He's 8-3 on the season, having a great year. Marcus Stroman up to 85. This is what we expected. These two should be our top guys at all times. I like what I see here. I don't like Stroman. Does look like he's getting maybe the run support at 3.49 ERA to be 4-7. J Happ at 6-6 with a 4.3 ERA. Not great, but he's sitting at 83, so it's not horrible. Jaime Garcia is at 8-5. He brought his ERA back down, and he's up to 79, so I'm okay with that. And unfortunately, Estrada at a 5.2 ERA right now, 76, so he's dropped. So Estrada might be somebody that we might need to potentially look to move on from. Looking at our relievers now, Seung Hwan Oh is still looking good at a 2.22, dropped a little bit to 84. Rosenthal hopping up pretty solid, 2.7 ERA, 83. Ryan Tepera, good stuff, man, 2.4 up to 81. Joe Biagini up to 79 overall since we called him up, in 31.5 innings, 35.1 innings, 0.76 ERA, phenomenal. Kevin Segrist, ooh, did not pan out how I was hoping. 78. Let's monitor that one as we go along here. And Danny Barnes is not looking great either. So we got a couple weak spots here in the pen. Osuna still doing his thing, man. Look at that, 1.86 ERA. You're a stud. Real Muto, 287 up to 81. I love it. So Cam Rupp went down with injury. Just our luck, of course, and pretty much playing as well as Luke Mayale was. So we will need to find potentially some extra depth here. We got one spot open. Let's call up Reese McGuire. He's up to 67. So we will add him to our 40-man roster for now and call him up to the MLB. You're going to be our backup for now, kid. Looking at first base, so Morales is back in the lineup. Smokey's still looking good, 16 jacks, 281. Morales not too bad, 298. 77 overall, so he hasn't gone up or down. He's holding pretty steady. Devin Travis, 82, 278, very respectful. Danny Espinoza, well, at least he's doing better than Gift Nagope was. There's the guy we're going to look out for, Lourdes Gurriel. He could be up sooner than later. Josh Donaldson, 313, 27 jacks. He's having another MVP season. Vladdy Jr. in the top 50. Not batting great for average, but who knows how soon till we'll see him come up. Solarte, 294, absolutely fantastic, 11 home runs. Aledmys Diaz at 253, so he has dropped a little bit, and so is his overall. We may need to keep an eye on Bichette to come up sooner than later at shortstop. Grandy holding down at 316. My God, the ageless wonder just never stops. 11 home runs. Steve Pearce batting 260. I'll take it. It's not bad. Kevin Pillar 262, so he actually came up a little bit. Teoscar Hernandez is looking phenomenal. Continues to get better. At 74, he's actually better than Steve Pearce, and I may look to call him up. And Grichuk actually came up in overall, but yet his average dropped. I don't know. He's 216 average, 10 home runs. I'm not too happy to see that. So maybe we package out Pearce and some of our other guys here that we were looking at potentially moving on from. Maybe one of our relievers or Estrada and see what we can get. So let me check out to see for some trades, and I'll come right back. All right, guys, we finally found a deal. We're moving on from Steve Pearce. We're going to call up Teoscar Hernandez. I think he's going to be wasting time in the minors because he's looking pretty fire right now. We're moving on from Marco Estrada, and we are going to send just a random catcher out to make this deal happen. And we are going to grab from Milwaukee, Julius Chassin. As you guys know, he's been a great pitcher. He's 30, so it means he's about 6 years younger than Estrada, or 4 to 6 years. Let me just correct myself here. 4 years younger. Obviously, Estrada showing B potential. I don't really see it. Money-wise, we are going to be saving some cash, and he is a better overall right now, and he's actually been a stud so far this season, typically holding about a 3 sub ERA, 8-1 record. So, we are going to pull this deal. Let us go back here and take a quick peek to see how this helps us out, or hampers us, wherever you take a look. Look at our starting pitching. There's Julius right there. So he does move up a little bit over Jaime Garcia, and I think everything else should be good to go. So let's get back into game action now. We'll get back into some simming, and we will go to maybe the All-Star break. I think the All-Star break is probably a good spot. So we did just take out Detroit, took the series 2-1. The Athletics are offering us Liam Hendricks and Chris Davis for Roberto Osuna. What do you really think I'm going to do here, Oakland? Billy Bean, what are you doing? You're fired. Moving on through, so there's a 4-game series of Detroit, and we split it. We took the Mets series. We took the Yankee series. Athletics are calling again. I'm not giving you Osuna. Go away. You guys are crazy. He's one of the best closers in baseball. Today's my... No, we don't play. Nope, we don't care about minors right now. Great, PCL 1. Okay, so Atlanta, we split the series. The Red Sox... no, we're going to skip the home run derby, doesn't matter. We kept a mixed series with the Red Sox, 2-2. We did put a freaking hurting on them, 13-0 though, so that was good to see. And we'll go towards the end of July. I think this will give us a good idea about where we are as a team. We'll take a look at the standings. Wow, okay, so the Rangers went out and acquired James Paxton. You know, phenomenal left-handed pitcher, basically an ace at 88 overall. And they traded their prospect, Joey Gallo, who's 24, first baseman with tons of power, going back to the Mariners. Another deal we got here, Wade Davis, heading on over to Oakland. I guess they were looking for that closer. and it costed them Jake Marisnick and Marcus Semien. So, some big moves moving on there. We obviously didn't choose to make any big deals. I'm pretty confident in where we're at. The Nationals are calling again. Marcus Stroman for Gio Gonzalez and Michael Taylor. Now, I do like Michael Taylor. Gio Gonzalez is a little on the older side, and I don't want to take that $8.8 million salary, so we're going to turn that down. How we done since the All-Star break? Well, we took a series against Baltimore. We lost a series against the Twins for whatever reason, who are apparently over 500. We lost a series to the White Sox, who have been bummer, as that guy's name says. And right now, we are losing a series to Oakland. So let's finish off the Oakland series and see where that leaves us. Trade deadline, which I should stop simulating. Actually, yes. Let's stop simulating now. Let's take a quick peek at our numbers again and see, you know, who's hurting us, who's doing well for us. So Stroman gets back up over 500, showing that ace potential we hope to see. 87, 8-7. Pretty funny how that worked out. 2.86 ERA. Sanchez ERA's gone up a little bit, but 11-5 record. Hap holding it down at 8-8, 3.87. Julius 8-5, 3.87, and Jaime Garcia rounding it back around at 3-4, 10-7. I'm okay with those numbers. I'm gonna let those guys run the rest of the season. Going to our relievers, Seung-Hwan Oh, 2.96 ERA. Keep it going, brother. Rosenthal at 3.86 has gone up a little bit, but it is better than some of the other ones we've seen. Tepera still holding great, 2.55. He's lost a couple games. What can you do? Joe Biagini is continuing to dominate, 1.07 ERA. Good stuff, kid. Seagrass has come down at 3.5. That's what I like to see. And Danny Barnes still not doing too great this season. Maybe something we'll have to address. I'll take a quick peek. Roberto Osuna still doing his thing, 2.6. Real Muto, 287 average. I'm definitely okay with that. Cam Rupp not doing great, but Reese McGuire not doing too bad. 333 average. I guess in the short time he was able to get up. Justin Smoke, 285, 26 home runs. He's having a great season. Kendrys Morales, 269. I'll take it. Devin Travis, 272, 7 jacks. Good stuff, buddy. Danny Espinosa is batting 200. Not great. Lourdes Gurriel could be finally seeing some time, maybe next season, or when the roster expands if we make the playoffs. Josh Donaldson, 302. Yangervis Solarte, 306. Oh, like, these guys are just studs, man. I'm so happy to see the two of them absolutely killing it right now. Aledmez Diaz, 244, not happy about it. Bo Bichette continues to catch up to him for overall, and we could be seeing him sooner than later. Grandy still holding great, man. 306, 12 home runs. Dwight Smith Jr. up to 68. I like what I see there. Good stuff, Dwight. Kevin Pillar, 81. Good stuff. 265 average. Holding out pretty good. 10 home runs. I forgot to call up Teoscar. That's what I forgot to do. So let me quickly do that before we start getting into anything else. And Grichuk, still 81. 14 jacks. 216 average. I don't like that. So let's quickly go back to our catchers. We're going to send Reese McGuire back down to, looks like, probably AA. So, Reese, you can go back down. We're going to head back on over now and go call up Teoscar Hernandez. Oh, yeah, forgot to put him on the 40-man. You would think he'd be on the 40-man roster. What do I know? On the 40-man roster now and gets the call up to the MLB because the guy's absolutely killing it. So, Teoscar comes up. Grichuk, hopefully that kind of helps our outfield a little bit since we were apparently only running with 3. Aledmez Diaz, I'm still not loving that he's 73 overall right now. But we'll monitor that as well. And I think the big one, obviously, that we do have to go address right now is probably Danny Barnes. He's still holding his 76, but with this being the trade deadline, that's probably the only deal that I'm going to take a look into. So let me go take a look at that, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're able to find a deal here. This is a pretty big one. I'm actually excited about this. Carl Edwards Jr. from the Cubs, a really good reliever that Chef Tom and I are big fans of. Happy to bring him in, 82 overall, couple years younger than Danny Barnes. We are going to move on from 29-year-old Nick Tepish. He was just there for basically some depth. I don't see him playing. 1.2 million is going to come off the cap. Of course, with Sean Reed-Foley, Taylor Guerrero, Ryan Barucki, pretty much at his overall. This deal does help us a lot. Gif Nagope, probably not going to play, 64. See potential, he's 28. And Danny Barnes going to be part of that deal. So we're going to make that trade. Bing, bang, boom. I think that's the deal that we need to make. Let me go quickly just check free agency to see what still might be kicking around. I was actually looking at Tony Zeke. Brandon Phillips is kicking around. That's a half-decent look for us as well. Melky Cabrera, Yunel Escobar. Adam Lind is there. 19-year-old Chris North, C potential. I was actually, you know what? He doesn't look that bad for a 19 and a 70. So I'm actually going to throw this kid a deal. Give him a 1-year deal. Boom. Done. Just maybe some depth. Peter Nakajima. He's got half-decent contact. He might actually not be bad for second base, too. Right now, guys, I'm just trying to fill in some of the spaces for some of the guys that I got rid of in deals. So I'm going to sign Nakajima. You know, young age, half-decent look for potential-wise. Like, even as long as it's a C, I think will do us well. Zach Gibbons in left field is a 65. Not looking too bad, actually. Not too bad. JJ Yoder. Trace Thompson, Seth Smith, Rich Stokes. Okay, so nothing else really that jumps off the page. Obviously, Henderson Alvarez is there if you really need to sign for some depth. I don't really see it right now why we would need to. So I'm going to let the rest of it go. Actually, Pedro Estrada, deep potential. So definitely not even worth the look. We signed Cam Rupp already, so no need for there. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with where we're at right now. I feel good with the moves that we've made here. Let's go quickly take a peek to see that everything's still in line. So we're looking good there. Creditors Jr. already up in the majors. Jumps up to 86 off that deal, guys. That is massive. This is not only a deal that helps us now, but for the future. Because, I mean, he's 86 beat potential and 26 overall. So that's actually a really good deal I'm really happy with. Everything looks good there. So there's Chris North. He's going to go play AAA. That'll help out the minors a bit. Danny Espinoza here, of course. With moving on from Nagope, we acquired Peter Nakajima. Good stuff. Look at that. Same overall as Lourdes Gurriel. I think everything else we should be okay. Actually, does Nakajima even play shortstop by any chance? No. Okay, second and third. But everything else should look good here. Teoscar's finally up. Okay. So we're going to get back into the action now, guys. That was what we needed to do. I feel confident in the deal that we made. And hopefully that helps our relieving. One of your organizations has received an important message. Would you like to stop simulating? No. So let's see how this goes. So Seattle, we took the series. I love it. Boston, we got swept. That's not going to help us at all. One thing I noticed, I've totally forgot to check the standing. So we'll have to go do that after we're done this sim. So let's go back here. We'll take a look. So Oakland, we lost a series to them. We lost won 3 out of 4 against Seattle. Great. Swept by Boston. Not great. Tampa, we won. That's huge for our division. We lost to Kansas City. 3 out of 4. Not great. Swept the Yankees. Loving that. Took 2 out of 3 from Boston. Now we're heading to Philly. So let's get past this Baltimore series because it is in the division. We lost series to Phillies. Come on, guys. Big, big win of the series against Baltimore. We're at the end of August. Let's go see where we're sitting right now. This is incredibly, incredibly important. Completed transactions. What do you guys want from my life right now? What do you guys want? I thought I saw Madison Bumgarner. That kind of freaked me out there for a second. So in the standings, we're 9.5 games back of the Red Sox for the division. But where are we at right now for the wild card? We do have a wild card spot, and wow, there is a three-way tie basically for the second place wild card spot. That is absolutely insane. So we are holding down. So looking at our numbers, so the breakdown the top right corner there, 2nd in power, 8th in pitching. Our speed's not great. Our defense isn't great apparently, and contact is about in the middle. So we're basically like the real Jays, getting passed on half decent pitching and some power. What can I tell you? Let's go off now, get back to the calendar. Let's keep pushing here to September, and let's see where it gets us. So Miami, we lost the series. Come on. Buffalo finished over 500 in AAA. They didn't make the postseason, so must have been a tight season. I'm okay to let that go. The Fisher Cats in AA, good stuff. 84 and 56, and they're going to move on in the playoffs. No, I'm not going to stop for the minors. So already taking a look. All right, Fisher Cats continue to move on. AA's looking good, guys. Miami, so we lost that series. Tampa, we swept. Cleveland, we actually tied the series. Okay, 2-2. I'm good with that. The Boston, this right here, these next couple weeks, massive. So let's sim up to here and see how it goes. Lost the series against Boston. Attaboy, Fisher Cats won the Eastern League Championship Series. So, Boston series we lost. New York we lost. We swept Baltimore. We took Tampa Bay 3 out of 4. That's awesome. We took Houston again. We've actually played really well against the former champs. And this is the last series, guys. Can we get those 90 wins? Congratulations. The Blue Jays have won the postseason as a wildcard team and are playing the Yankees. Oh, in the first round. That's insane. So we finished 92 and 70 in our first season. We swept Tampa there. Phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. So let's go take a look now to see what our rosters are like going into the postseason here. Okay. So Stroman finished the season at 87, 14, 11, 2.9, great stuff. Sanchez 3.36, 16 and 8. J-Hap 3.72. Jaime Garcia 17 and 8, really turned it around. And Julius Chassin, he finished off very respectable, 12 and 8, 3.87. I'm okay with it. Moving on up now to our relievers. Carl Evers Jr., as I said, was going to turn it around. 85. Trevor Rosenthal really picked it back up, 2.37. The final boss took a little bit of a hit, but he's still 81. Joe Biagini was an absolute star for us, 79, 2.07. Segrist, that one hurts a little bit. We'll bite it. We'll eat it. It is what it is. And Tepera, 3.16. So not too bad of our pitching. Osuna, 2.7. JT Realmuto holding out at 80. Finished the season with a 279 average, 13 home runs. Cameron Rupp, 194. Add in a couple homers. I mean, he was backing up. He was a lot better than what we saw from Luke Mayale, who, look, has even dropped to the bottom of the depth chart for our catchers. Looking at first base now, 84 for Justin Smoke, 268 average, respectable. 34 home runs, phenomenal, great stuff. Kendrys Morales is our backup, 286, I love it, 9 home runs. He was injured during the season, so we'll keep the numbers as they are. Rowdy Tellez, good stuff in Double-A, buddy. Devin Travis, 291, 13 jacks, phenomenal season for him. Looking at Danny Espinoza, 196. Not great. Looks like Lourdes Gurriel. Wow, 406. Good stuff, man. Could be making his way up soon. Josh Donaldson, 40 home runs, 309 average. MVP, calling it now. Phenomenal. Yangervis Solarte, 308. What a season. 30 home runs. That's the shit right there. I hate to say it. I had to drop the shit bomb. That's the shit. Look at these two, man. 70 home runs and an over 300 average on the season. I'm going to do the Yangervis dance. Yangervis dance all day, boys. Shortstop, Aledmus picked it back up. 14 home runs, 263 average, and finished with 75. Good. Bo Bichette could be making his way up, man. I'm excited for that. Curtis Granderson finished the season with 292, 18 home runs. Do I even have to say anything at this point? Absolute beauty. Kevin Pillar, 272, 17 home runs, really turned it around. Finished at 79. Teoscar Hernandez, just like he came up last year. 302 average and 6 home runs, baby. I'm excited to see what he does for us in the playoffs. Randall Grichuk brought his average back up respectably to 235. Still a little low for my liking, but 24 home runs, so he did bring the power. So we are looking pretty solid, guys. I am happy about how the team is looking right now. You guys ready for some playoffs? Let's go see how our first playoff series goes. Oh, a 6-0 loss to the Yankees. Like, what happened in this game, guys? 7 hits, couldn't turn it into anything. So where was our problem spot? So Devin Travis went 1 for 4. Hernandez went 1 for 4. Donaldson 2 for 4. 0 for 3 Smoke. 0 for 3 Solarte. They let us down, man. 1 for 4 Grichuk. 1 for 4 Realmuto. And Aledmus Diaz 1 for 4. Yikes. So that is going to be the end of our season, guys. I was really, really hoping for better. Let's go see if we can figure out who the MVP was for the season. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, here we go. 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 Okay. We're not looking postseason MVP right now. The MVP of the season was Chris Sale for the Red Sox. Wow. Guy goes 23-5, 207 ERA, 256 strikeouts. Jeez. He won the Cy Young as well. Makes sense. The American League batting title went to Mike Trout, who batted 336 with 48 home runs. Unbelievable season, man. Kelvin Herrera, reliever of the year, 50 saves, 1.16 ERA, 58 strikeouts. That's an incredible season. Shohei Ohtani won the Rookie of the Year, 10-14, 4.52, 189 strikeouts. Does that really look like a Rookie of the Year numbers for you? Just wait until Vladdy Jr. and Bo Bichette come up. Mike Trout also won the Hank Aaron Award. Dan Norris won the Gold Glove. Wilson Ramos, Mitch Moreland, Jonathan Schoop, Chapman, Iglesias, Naquin, Kiermaier, Grichuk, Gold Glove. Attaboy. Okay, so at least one J is taking home some hardware. Trey Mancini for the Silver Slugger. Sanchez, Justin Smoke, Silver Slugger. So we got 2 awards. Altuve, Sano, Correa, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, George Springer. So there you have it. So we had a half-decent season, guys. for injuries, or we had anything that was killing us here, DJ Davis. So some of the young guys, nothing too major that was anything that was going to hurt us. Look at the top prospects. So there you go. Asuna, Vladdy Jr., Bo Bichette. So we got a couple of our big boys there. And did anybody else from our roster make that top 50 going into next year? Because that's going to be the end of this first episode of the Blue Jays rebuild. No. So we do have the two big boys. They could be making it up as soon as next year. Let's see who's going to win the postseason here. Let's sim to the offseason. Figure out who's going to be our champions. The Red Sox are the champions, defeating the Dodgers in the 2018 World Series. Would you like to advance to the 2018 offseason? Yes. Yes, I would. The contract of the third base coach has ended. You'll need to re-sign him. Okay, so I'll do that stuff. And get into some contracts. So Ramon Fields, his ability, and Luis Santos because of an injury. So we actually lost one of our better pitchers, younger pitchers, who had some potential to come up and maybe be a depth guy or a reliever. Torn rotator cuff. Yikes. As someone who had a partially torn rotator, I know what that's like. It's not good. Anybody else? Chris Young, who retired here. Brett Gardner, that's a big one. Sergio Romo, CC Sabathia. Anybody else of note? James Shields. Mike Napoli. Party at Naps. Officially over. Drew Patera, John Jay, Fernando Rodney, Irvin Santana, Pujols, Iwakuma, Suzuki, Worth, Chavez, Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy's finally gone. Adam Lowen, the Canadian. Trent Thornton, Moylan. So really nobody. Oh, Anibal Sanchez, Brad Ziegler, Reed Brignac, Jason Vargas, Adrian Gonzalez, Will Middlebrooks. I guess just never cracked the lineup. Ben Zobrist, Homer Bailey, Giovanni Gallardo. Wow, the Reds took a couple big ones there, man. Adam Wainwright finally retires. Jorge De La Rosa, Jeff Mathis. Anybody else of note? Rich Hill. Chase Utley finally retiring. Derek Holland. Wow, Derek Holland retiring. Gregor Blanco, Austin Jackson, Chase Darno. There you go. Rest of free agents. Eric Ibar. So, Jose Bautista finally gone too. Oh, wow. And Dante Pichette Jr. Don't worry, man. Your brother's going to do better. That's all I'm saying. As we move on here, inductees, Suzuki, Pujols. Makes sense, obviously. And we're going to get to the offseason. So here's where I leave you guys, the first episode of our Toronto Blue Jays rebuild. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you love it, hit that thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can. I'm just going to do our staff stuff. In the beginning of our next episode, we'll see what I've done in the offseason. I'm going to leave some of the offseason for the episode as well, of course. Contract negotiations and all that stuff. And any potential trades. So as I mentioned, hit that like button to keep this series going. We'll start the Blue Jays. Comment below on the issue if you guys want to see me do it a full series, playing out the entire duration of the franchise, or do you want to see just till I win that first World Series? I would almost love to do the full thing just to see how some of our prospects turn out, but it's really up to you guys. I leave it in your hands. So again, smash the like button. Let's get as many likes as we can. Leave those fire comments. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit notifications, hit that bell, bing, 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 so you know when we drop the next content. And, of course, as we always mention to you guys, down below in the description, you can find all of our social media. You can find our partners, Clutch Chairz, right there. Look at that beauty, sitting comfortably all the time. Insane Labs, great products for being aware, for gaming, for working out, good stuff. 2 promo codes below for those guys. And, of course, our shop, Redbubble. Go check it out. Pick up some hot MMC merchandise. Just rep it. Do great stuff with it. Send it to us if you buy it. We want to show some love doing our social media page. And thus I leave you guys. So thank you so much for the first episode and for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try and keep the videos at a half decent length so they are fun to watch. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.